Hi, this is Abaya here, and this is the video for lock-in right before we start our leagues. Yeah. Two things first. I don't usually want to drop hypothetical POBs out there, but one, this is mostly based off Alkai's work on Juggernauts, and this is just me porting this over to Gladiator. Two, there are things with Gladiator that Jug solves better. And there are things with Gladiator that have, I would say, kind of glaring issues. For one, Fizzmax hit is pretty low here. That is something I have to solve eventually, but for now I'm like, I'm not gonna really think about it too much. A lot of the gear, and this is actually just Alk's jug gear, with a bit of resistance rearranging. Overall, I would consider this decently tanky enough. Definitely want to get Fizz max hit to at least 50k. Well, not 40, 35 to 40k. I think block should be able to cover most of the remaining gaps. Damage is reasonable at 22. And you can probably scale this up to maybe about 30 mil probably. But yeah. So core mechanics in this build, definitely block. So this is still Gladiator. Block, lucky block is pretty much kind of a base requirement for the survivability of this build. You're getting suppression from a few nodes, but mostly from gear. You're getting a lot of crit chance and crit multi bonuses because of the dual wielding and the bleed. This is very strong. These are very strong wheels. You also get it from sword because you're using Paradoxica on the main hand. Get sword mastery for frenzy charge generation. You're getting max res from flask as well as these two wheels. Very strong as well on the left hand side. That's pretty much it. A lot of the rest are just mainly crit multi and crit chance nodes. So yeah, so crit chance, crit multi, crit chance, crit multi, and then this rage node here is pretty strong. This rage wheel here is pretty strong. Intimidation rage is good damage as well, and rest of it is just going to life and sockets. Quick and Deadly, Feed the Fury, and Martial Prowess wheels or rather clusters are kind of important, but these are generally very expensive, so it'll take you some time to get there. Reason why you want to go as much life as possible, especially on gear, is because you are going to use the life for Petrified Blood and Bloodthirst, right? So a lot of the fizz scaling on this build is actually coming from Bloodthirst. So so Brutality, Mini Physical, Multi-Strike, Bloodthirst, Fortify. You can draw 45 if you want to be less tanky, but that's up to you. Pretty straightforward build, not much complexity. The reason why I've chosen this as well is because two reasons. I think people underestimate the mana cost for skills, especially when you have a lot of links on them. And so life, blood magic is a pretty easy way of solving this problem. You blood magic, and the only reservation on life you're using is actually your Petrified Blood. You can run Petrified Blood and Precision. You can run what was it again? Eternal Blessing of Pride to get Pride effect without any reservations. But by going Blood Magic, the great thing as well is you don't have to think about mana at all. With the reduction and how effective auras are, I think this is a pretty good way of actually gearing now, or rather building a character now. Just stacking life and going Bloodthirst with Blood Magic, especially if you're Fizz or an Impale build, or even a bleed build, by the way. I think it's still really strong. There are a lot of alternative gearing paths I can take, because this tree is remarkably similar to that of a bleed tree. You can also go bleed lacerate. The only reason why I'm not going bleed lacerate is mainly because I expect items to be expensive or hard to get. A lot of people are just gunning for the same uniques, like a Rislata's coil, and I don't think it makes much sense if Rislata's like 10 div in the first 2 weeks or so to actually go for that. I'd rather spend my currency on things that are, more effective use, like stuff that will go up in price later. Early game scaling, I'm gonna cover that in another POB, not this one, but as you can see, I just want to show you the top end. I'll probably post this in the description. I'll show you something close to the top end. Do tweak this, okay? This is not 100% what it will be like. I will always make adjustments in the middle of the league based on the items I get. I also always make adjustments if I feel like something's lacking. So in this case here, I don't have, okay, there's something I may want to do. I may want to start stacking endurance charges just to get a bit more fizz mitigation, because my fizz mitigation is absolute shit here. It's 16k, it's not much. I can also go like calms, lethal pride calms, and go strength of blood to get physical mitigation from that. Mainly because I have petrified blood and I should technically be leeching, right? Consistently. I have instant leech because this runs a claw, right? And the claw gives me instant leech of 20% from weapon master. So it's quite possible as well to go strength from blood calms, but I might lose unwavering stuns, so I have to deal with some block stun. I have to get manage stun somewhere in some other way. So these are all the possibilities. I'm not going to show them to you here because I think these things are best discussed after testing, not before. So if you want a hypothetical POB, here you go. Progression is mainly going to be this. I'm going to start leveling by just buying. I don't know how expensive Rybeaks will be. I will probably buy one. If I can't buy a second one because it's too expensive, I'll buy a shield. Tasalo signs are mandatory. That will be where my currency is going to in the first 1 or 2 hours. Getting a cheap Tasalo signs is going to just help me rush through maps faster, right? Especially with melee skills. I plan to go smite because I'm going to rush straight to Tribal Fury and get the the additional target for strike skills. Yeah, I'm not sure if this has any effect. Anyway, I could probably get this elsewhere as well. Let me see. Additional. Okay, wait. Strike. Is it here? Okay, it's called Attack. Attack Mastery. You could go this as well. Yeah, I mean, Smite may not be benefiting off the slash, so you can just not go here and go here instead, and go this. So this is probably what I'll be going for. First 22 or 20 levels. You deal with the mana cost issues with this. Really good for dealing with mana cost issues. You get your stats of these. You get like early damage scaling of this, and then you get unwavering from here. Yeah, actually, this probably has more damage. I don't know. We'll see. I'll make adjustments. Yeah. Anyway, so smite probably 3 links, elemental damage attacks, ruthless, double Tassalios, and a bright beak. I might not have 2 bright beaks. That's completely fine, but at least 1, just for resistances, just for attack speed, and for faster leap slams. I'm going to run a shield if I need to. But yeah, hopefully I can buy 2 of these. So altogether, my anticipated cost for this will be 4C, thereabouts. Hopefully this bright beak doesn't go like 2 or 3C. I'm pretty sure by about 2 hours in, it should be about 1 to 2C. So Tasalios is always 1C, maybe 2C at like the first hour, but it usually drops to 1. Alright, that's level 20. Probably level either Sunder until I get to additional targets. Before I get to additional targets, so before additional targets go Sunder, after additional targets go Smite. So I'll just probably leave Smite in my sockets for leveling. Alright, let's go to level 59. I don't know why I'm not storing these on the same POB, but I'm not. Okay, so I might want to rethink how I did this. I originally pathed this side I'm starting to think now it's probably better pop this side because the strength requirements. Uh, yeah, but, yeah, but then it is precise technique. So maybe some respec is needed along the way. We'll see. This is just tentative. Dual strike or ambidexterity, if I can get that early, is great too. Multi strike, ruthless, hypothermia is a folding. In this case, once you hit a certain point, you can get level 50. You can get frost breath, and 58 is Ichimonji. Something like that. If you still have a bright beat, you can go bright beat, and instead of frost breath, you go something else. You will lose out on the double damage, but the damage will still be really good because of dual strike or ambidexterity. Yeah, by then you should have lucky block already, so you get like pretty much I think a 90k HP. Yeah, something like this. This damage is enough to carry you to almost low yellows, I think. So you already have low yellow damage at about level 59 or thereabouts. Probably less if I optimize this, but yeah, pretty comfortable. And then by day 2, what you want to accomplish is somewhere around 1 million DPS. Okay, and this is still tentative, yeah, because I'm not too sure whether or not I want to start scaling Fizz yet, or I'm gonna keep going Elemental. It really depends on what's available on the market. This is with the assumption I'm still using Frost Breath and Ichimonjis, but I want to aim for a Bring of Rain at some point. I want to have, okay, Anvil is probably in the previous POB, right? When you hit level 50, you can use Anvil, 45 you can use Anvil already. But yeah, Bring of Rain is something I'll go for by end of day 1 or start of day 2, mainly because it is like it gives you like a pseudo 7 thing. If I do go Bring of Rain, I may want to just transition to Blood Magic early, mainly because of the mana cost. So really, this is just tentative, right? I may not need the suppression, so I can just path here instead. And yeah, so just saying, all this is just hypothetical. I'm just going to reevaluate based on what the market is like and based on my current needs and why I feel is a problem with the build. So don't take what I'm giving you here as a clear guide of what you're supposed to do. I usually give you a lot more freedom. I expect you to not be like completely brain dead. I'm not giving you like a full solution to the problem. I'm giving you something I think is mostly going to be strong. You solve the rest yourself. All right, that's pretty much about it. That's regarding Gladiator. Okay, if you still want to play with Flammable Totems, I know there's a lot of debate on this on my video. And to be frank, damage is not a problem, right? In fact, damage is actually easier to get. Why? Because the totem nodes are all clustered around, the totem and your damage nodes are all clustered around this side of the tree. You can no longer have to path to this side. What is the problem then? The problem with this build is survivability. Tankiness is an issue, right? Why do I say this? The reason why I say this is because you're not going to have access to a lot of great... well, you want to have Unbreakable, that's for sure. But then again, so this is the thing I don't really understand. If you follow Flammable Totems last league for me, you weren't tanky, okay? You weren't tanky until you got Unbreakable, right? You were kind of tanky, but you weren't really all that tanky until you got to Unbreakable. And the fact of the matter is, it's going to be the exact same for this current league. So I don't think there is a difference in progression from last league for Flammable Totems from last league to this league. I don't think there's a difference at all. And personally, my take is, I think you're actually slightly tankier because you have access to multiple res nodes early, right? Like you see here and here. And because what's the term for it? You have endurance charges, okay? Last league, you didn't have endurance charges. You were predominantly relying on Molten Shell and Determination to deal with Fizz Max It. This league, because you're starting Jug, that is not a problem, okay? So I'm telling you, all right, you're actually going to be tankier with Flamewood at the start of the league. The problem is at the top end, all right? When you hit, let's say, 1 week or 2 weeks in, and you're you want to really scale this build, like giga scale this build and get Mage Blood, you won't get the same tankiness as last league's Chieftain, I think. But at the same time, they did nerf T17s. So, you know, take it as you wish, with whatever with a pinch of salt. But I'm telling you, probably Flamewood Totems will still remain strong. It will still remain a pretty decent league starter. It's just I'm not gonna play a build twice in a row. Okay, I've made that mistake in the past. It nearly killed me. I didn't want to play the league. If you know, I tried another build, the same build again, and I nearly quit the league. All right, I get bored. Okay, so I'm not gonna play Flamewood Totems again, even if I can make it work. But if you want to play it, you can probably make it work. That being said, okay, so if you're talking about how do you deal with early game tankiness and damage for Flamewood, the answer is you literally get Totem Taunt on 3, and you literally get it like here. It's super early. In fact, you could probably skip this area and go straight for it, make a beeline for it, and you get it super fast. So you actually can get Totem Taunt really, really fast, and then by about level 50 Sire of Shards. What's Sire of Shards? By about level 49, 50, you can run Sire of Shards, get it on a falling, and then you have enough damage to clear all the way to maps. That's level 50. The problem with Flamewood Totems has always been level 1 to 50, right? 1 to 50 is complete utter ass, right? Because you don't have... Your totems are not going to do damage, and you probably have to do some slam build. The good thing this league is that respecs can be accomplished through gold. So you get like... I think you get like free respecs, I think, all the way till maps. So you can like... I would say just follow some Alkaiser or Ben, Melee, Fizz, Juggernaut, two-hander leveling guide, and then swap to Flamewood. Like at level 50 you can swap to Flamewood if you want, or you just go all the way to maps and just use your Sire Shots only at maps. So personally speaking, Flamewood is actually in a better position this league, I think, than it was last league for leveling all the way to like T17s. But when it comes to juice T17s, I'm not sure. I can't give you that guarantee. I think the main difference is your Fizz max hit is about half. Fizz max hit last league was like 170 or something, but your elemental max hit is higher. Okay, it used to be at like 150, 170 or something. Now it's 220 because of endurance charges and how it works. So you make that call yourself. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on that on this. Okay. What else is there? Okay, so with Gladiator, the good thing as well is, let's go back Gladiator. Gladiator, the good thing as well is Retaliation. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. I don't think it's going to be that strong, and I'll give you the reasons for it. It's mostly because of the cooldown, right? The cooldown restricts how much DPS you can accomplish. There are some Retaliation skills that can work with dots, right? I think one of them works with bleed, one of them creates bleeds, and it doesn't have that much of an ailment penalty. But at the same time, the cooldown is the reason why it doesn't have decent DPS. It's probably great for like burst, right? But I don't think it's great for like overall DPS. So I am a bit undecided. That's why I'm not making a Retaliation build. I'm probably going to leave this on the side, meaning that if I do see people succeeding with Retaliation, I can always like go these instead of this, right? I can go Retaliation, measure Retaliation instead of Weapon Master, and that's how I push into maps if I want to. So that's one. Next thing. Okay, so the thing is, one of the priorities in early mid maps is to figure out what I want to invest in. And the fact of the matter is, the best things to invest in is usually Forbidden Jewels, because most people don't want to spend money on Forbidden Jewels early. And if you can get good ones or in-demand ones early, you will have it made. It's like last league when I bought Unbreakable set of jewels for like 5 divines, and at the end of the league they were like almost close to half a mirror or something. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but there were a couple of like 200, 300 divines. So I don't think the same thing will happen for this, because there is no like super late game node here that you have on Duelist. But I mean, there's something I do want to get. So there are a few Ascendancy nodes I really want. And to be honest, I am not fully decided. I'll give you an example why. Okay, so let's say I want to scale Phys Glad, right? There are two ways to go about doing this. I can actually get modern skill and respec into Slayer and get a lot of Slayer nodes and just get modern skill and still find ways to get block cap, right? And then I forego all these other Gladiator nodes. That's one path to take. The other is to continue with Glad and get something from Slayer that I really want. I think Brutal Fervor is nice. The problem with Brutal Fervor, okay, so this is my issue with Brutal Fervor. You don't really need the life leash effects are not removed for an unreserved life spell. The reason for that is quite straightforward. You are Petrified Blood. This is like, Headsman, Bane of Legends, always good, you know, more damage, but doesn't feel like it's worth two jewel sockets. Masterful Form is something that is interesting, but I also have issues with it. So Masterful Form gives you endurance charges equal to frenzy charges, which is amazing, right? Not gonna lie, no cap is good. Mainly because you can go this side of the tree, get like three frenzy charges. You can go, if you want to go Elysius, you can go Elysius. You can go Dragon Scale Boots as well. And then you can get like 10 frenzy charges or something. You can get 10 frenzy charges. You can you get, including rings, you might go up to 11. And then you got 11 endurance charges as well. And 11 endurance charges is like, what, 50%, 40% and damage reduction for elemental, which is quite massive as well. And then you get physical mitigation as well. Problem with that is this, and I'm gonna tell you outright. The problem with that is, this side of the tree didn't get buffs. It's still the same. I mean, it's still kind of strong. It's still the same strength as previous leagues, right? But this side of the tree got massive buffs, right? And it got massively buffed to the point where I kind of feel like you can actually path here and not really care about here, okay? The strength of going this side is that you have easy access to suppression, but you can get suppression off gear. So I don't think it's like as good as it was. Like I mean, I don't think it's as good comparatively to this side just because of the opportunity cost, right? So for that reason, I'm actually undecided on this. I'm really undecided on this. I may not even like buy this. The other option I'm thinking that I think is nice is First Strike lasts the fall. You are Petrified Blood, okay? And that means you're gonna proc this quite consistently. So Perma Adrenaline is going to be really nice. And two things, okay? You kind of have I want to say get out of jail card. So you can reach low life, and then you basically use it as not as a buff, but as a way to keep safe. But yeah, I mean, I really like this, so yeah, quite possible to go this. Inspirational is if you're going, so this is something else entirely different, okay? Freesia Glad is, I kind of like undecided about this. The problem with Freesia Glad is in the last league, I got Freesia champion to work mainly because I had access to Adorn, and Adorn gave me to help me propped up my life, right? In this case, I don't think Adorn will be accessible. If it is accessible, it's not like that great. It's like 100% increased instead of 150 max. So this is something I am putting on the side, something I'm shelving. I do think it's not worth to go Freesia. But if you do go Freesia Glad, you want Inspirational because of the 30% aura effect. I feel Freesia Glad is this. You run like Frost Breath, and I'm not sure you can get this easily as well. So, But the combo of Victario's Influence and Frisia is going to be available next league. So this is something I just POB'd for fun, but it looks like the Fizz Glad is going to be much better. So yeah, anyway. So that's likely what I'm going to go for. Anyway, I think I'm a bit talking too much. Like it's what, 25 minutes. All right. See you guys. I'm out. Bye. See you at League Start. Have a good time. If you want to play Glad, I will be updating the channel with my day 1, 2, and 3 progressions for Glad, and then eventually like how I scale it. All right. I'm out. Bye.